Brian Baloyi has named 2 coaches that he thinks should come and be the head coach of Kaizer Chiefs. And then he added the 3rd coach with terms and conditions. And with that one, I actually disagree with him. Who did he talk about? Well, let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. Alright, so the first one is Pitso Msimane and Manqoba Mngqithi. Those are the first 2 coaches. And he says that because those are the only 2 South African coaches that he thinks can steer the ship. And then he mentions the 3rd coach, not by name, but by region. He says that this 3rd coach should be a foreign coach, but that foreign coach should not be brought to Kaizer Chiefs just because he's a foreign coach. He shouldn't be brought to Chiefs because Chiefs did not want to pay Pitso Msimane. I'm making an example. Let's say he wants 400,000 and then this other coach says, I want 500,000. And then they're like, you see, this is from Europe and this one is from Africa, so you can't be paying 400,000 for an African while we can just add 100,000 and pay a foreign coach. You get what I'm saying? So what he's basically saying is that they should hire the coach on merits, not based on whether he's European or African. I get that. But the second one, he says that it should be because the other coach is either working in Africa and has the very good understanding of African culture. And I've heard these things being said a lot of times. And even when Zwane was the Kaizer Chiefs coach, he used to mention Uguti, some of these foreign coaches don't understand certain things about our local players and all of those things. And he was even referencing Indabaye culture and everything, traditional things that need to happen and whatnot and whatnot. And I sit there and I'm like, I disagree, you know. And I have my reasons. Starting with that one. Okay, so if let's say you bring a coach to Kaizer Chiefs and we're saying, he has won 8 cups in the last 5 years. Yo, but he doesn't understand. He has not worked in Africa, man. Yeah, he develops players. He makes players so good. But he won't understand when Ufundo says he has to go to the unveiling of his, I don't know what. He has to just go home for that time. But the coach says, I need this player to play because the team has a contract with this player to come and play. And people are going to be like, no, but he has things that he needs to attend to. Here's a question that I have for you. Let's say Mfundo Vilakazi does so well at Kaizer Chiefs and is still allowed to do those things while he's here in South Africa. And then he gets a team from Belgium. Let's say let's just say Club Brugge, right? Club Brugge say, hey, we are interested in the services of Mfundo Vilakazi. Come here. Do you think the coach in Belgium, when he gets there, will say, oh, I didn't know there was an unveiling of your great-grandfather's tombstone. You can fly to Africa while we have a very important Champions League match on Wednesday. It's fine. Go be with your family. You think they do that? No. At the highest level, there is no understanding here. There is leniency to a point. But I remember this other time, I think it was David Silva. His son there were even complications with the birth of his son. And then the very following day, he was playing. And I know people are going to say, oh, that's insensitive. And people also have personal lives. But the moment you switch off for a moment, you are done in Europe. And that's what we aspire. Those are the levels that we aspire to reach. Don't tell me here about Tuguti, oh, we have things that are important. I understand that. But also our football is so much behind because we are still focusing on the things that are not that important. Take, for example, Indaba Tagat. Every time you see Chiefs in the controversy of someone was spraying something in the goalpost, but they still lose with all their traditional things that they do there in that. Am I saying those things? They've never worked in football. I played football. I know Gutumuti, we are sebenze poleni, right? But the thing is, mauzo focus kulokho kubangati umuti is the ultimate thing. Let's get inyanga. Let's change inyanga. Let's fire the inyanga that we are using because we are losing because of inyanga. Ngeke uyendawo. Ngeke nje uyendawo uthi hayi so vele thina sithenga 20 liter womuthi so spray ground in iswini. No, doesn't work like that. We shouldn't be emphasizing too much ukuthi the cultural aspect. The coach should be good to coach the team. Anything else, if as long as, in my personal opinion, as long as he's not racist and is not looking down on like the country as a whole, he's good to go, right? Because then that's a red flag. Then he shouldn't be coming to the Chiefs. But if we're just going to say we're going to dismiss someone based on the fact that he's not too familiar with African football, because this is another thing. People are going to say African football this, African football that. But how many players, like let's just talk here. I was having this conversation with Mandla. If you're enjoying this video, by the way, please subscribe to the channel. How many players do you actually see in Europe, let's say top 5 leagues like La Liga, Premier League, French League R, and you won in the Bundesliga? How many of them play showboating type of football that's not going anywhere? Very few. Even those who do it, and they end up being injured all the time. Because what is demanded more there is your work ethic, is your basic understanding of football, being able to trap the ball, move into the right space. La eSouth Africa umuntu ugibela ibhola dance ephekwalo namadolo, kodwa when he has to score a tap in, he skies the ball over the net. Why? Because basics are not taught enough. Most of the times we're just playing to entertain. But look at Orlando Pirates right now, how they are playing. Pirates, they have Maswanganyi, who as entertaining as he is, but he's also scoring goals on the other side. He's also assisting. So you are mixing the flair, but the priority is scoring the goals. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, let's have flair, and if we get a chance, let's score. You understand? So that's my thing, Guti. This overemphasis on understanding African football, I think it's high time that the players adapt to the coach and not the coach to adapt to the players, because then you end up having this thing of players having power, players playing the type of football that they want to play while the manager wants a different type of football. So the coach, it should be clear to everyone and anyone. The coach should be in charge, because as I'm saying, we're talking about globalization of football here. Africa has not won a World Cup ever. But you look at all the players they take from Africa. Abo Mbapa, Africa. Abo Rudiger, Africans. You look at the whole France squad. The only 2 people who do not have African roots, if I remember correctly, I think it's Hugo Lloris and Olivier Giroud and Griezmann. 3. The rest all have African roots who were in that starting squad. And you look at them, you're like, what? Oh, I think Pavard as well. But majority of that French team that won. If France can field all black players, and then you find that mom is from Mali, dad is from Congo, the other one, mom is from Uganda, dad is from Burundi, bonk, 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 and some of them, dad is from Malawi, father and mother is from France. There is mixture, all of them have African roots. There is talent in Africa, but we are not teaching them because we're like, it's the African way. And that's what we're prioritizing in. That is why we Chiefs, I'm even losing my points now. That is why we Chiefs see kwesinye isikhathi khona umuntu odlaliswayo because uyingane kaSisi Sibongile. You understand? Sisi Sibongile Nkosi yami is a very important member of the community. Can you give umntanakhe i-trial? Khona abadlali obabona ukuthi lo kwi-Chiefs it doesn't deserve to be there. But ngoba uyingane kaMamsara othandazela wonke umuntu emphakathini, we understand we're an African community. We live in unity, so we should give everyone a chance because uma wakhe works hard. This is not about your mom. This is not about your grandmother. This is about how good you are. Can you play football? Can you be coached to get better? If uyingane kaMamsara and you can play, hamba udlala kuMilford. Uzame khona ukuthi abalase khona. Hayi ukuthi uzodlala ku-Chiefs ngenxa ukuthi uyingane kaMamsara. That should not be the way that things are working. Number 3 is, as I said, ability to adapt, because it might not happen here in South Africa ukuthi you are not adapting to the coach. But the thing is, you go to Europe, you'll have to adapt to the coach. Ask Percy Tau. Look at Percy Tau when he was at Brighton. A lot of people said, oh, Graham Potter hated Tau, blah, blah, blah. That's why he failed at Chelsea. Failing at Chelsea had nothing to do with how he ran Brighton. Because even another coach, Thomas Tuchel, with Chelsea. So you're going to tell me that Thomas Tuchel did not succeed at Chelsea? The man won the Champions League with Chelsea. And Graham Potter went there and was given a few months and got the sack. So it had nothing to do, because now people are just celebrating with, Potter did not give Utau a chance because he hated him, because he's racist. There's no such. Uyiv Bisumalo or developilo Akanagu Space. He's a black guy. There's this other guy, Nyamkotlo, who was forced to have to retire because of heart problems. He's from Zimbabwe. I forget his name. He was black. He was one of the key players in the team of Brighton. You understand? So this thing of we always try to make these things about racism, he's white, he's black. No. Sometimes our people are just not good enough because we are keeping them in a bubble. Yoguta South Africa, this is how we play. This is how we play. But look at how full our stadiums are. I'm obviously being sarcastic. They're so empty. And you see the moment teams start performing well. Look at Pirates. At the beginning of the season, Chiefs had a better attendance than Pirates. But Pirates have gradually grown into the season. And because of that, they are now getting more people attending their games. And you look at Chiefs, they are getting empty and emptier. Like you look at EE game, I remember the first game I went to watch of Chiefs in Polokwane. Like there were a lot of people and it was a Tuesday night. I left work and then drove to Polokwane. Went there, it was full. Aibo, not full, but a lot of people were there. This game that they just played, like it's the 8th, so people got paid on the 1st, yet people were not there. Why? Because they knew they were going to be subjected to mediocrity. Like you watch Pirates play against Sundowns, a midweek kickoff, the stadium, the first level of Orlando Stadium is full. That's like 20,000 people. And then the second part level has some people there as well. It might not be full. But you look at Chiefs playing Sundowns midweek again, much fewer people. Why? Because football, as much as you might say, oh no, we love Chiefs, we have a big fan base, at the end of the day, football is not winning. People are not going to go there. I've come to learn this thing as I continue to analyze the behavior of people. People do care about skilling and dribbling and kasi flavor, but they care more about winning. Because you can play Mfundo Vilakazi Kibeli Paul, you can play Usamkelo Zwana, Kibeli Paula and whoever, but ultimately, if the team is not winning, no one's going to care. So I'm not saying let's kill the dribbling, let's kill off all of those things, but we should put our things in order and adapt to the system that is brought on by the coach. So that's me. I don't know what you think. Should we prioritize the cultural aspect in hiring the coach, or should we just check, is he qualified enough? What can he do? Do you think it would be a bad idea for Chiefs to look at the CV and say, you haven't worked in Africa, so we won't hire you? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals and Pelumo.